Angeles Dodgers as they start the game one full game behind the Dodgers, who won earlier today against the Houston Astros. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Bip Roberts with a ground ball to third base. Terry Pendleton with the diving stop. He gets up and throws to first to just get Roberts for out number one in the bottom of the first inning. We'll take one more look at the beautiful play by Terry Pendleton to get Bip Roberts at first base. Moving now to the bottom of the third inning. The Padres will score first when Thomas Howard hits a single to center field. Tim Tuffle will score, RBI number 20 for Howard, and the Padres are on top by a score of 1-0. In the top of the fifth inning, Tim Tuffle will come up with some fine defense. Sid Bream hits a ground ball to second base. Tuffle will go after it and come up with the diving stop. The throw to first for the 4-3 putout, and out number one in the top of the fifth inning. Andy Bennis had a no-hitter through 5 innings, but here in the top of the sixth inning, leadoff man Lonnie Smith gets the first hit for the Braves, a solo home run to right field, number 6 for Smith, RBI number 37, and the game is knotted up at 1 apiece. Padres go on top here in the bottom of the sixth inning when Fred McGriff hits a double down the right field line. Tony Fernandez scores, RBI number 95 for McGriff. He will be gunned out at third base, trying to stretch this one into a triple, but the Padres take a 2-1 lead. Then the top of the seventh inning, Lonnie Smith hits a single into left field. This will score Greg Olson, RBI number 38 for Lonnie Smith, and this knots the game up at 2 apiece. This game would remain that way as they would head into extra innings, where here in the top of the 10th inning, Vinny Castilla will lay down a sacrifice bunt. Fred McGriff will throw the ball down the right field line. Lonnie Smith will go to third, Castilla into second base, and that would set up the winning runs for the Atlanta Braves. Dave Justice would then step up to the plate and deliver with a single into right field. Lonnie Smith scores, RBI number 81 for Justice, and the Braves take a 3-2 lead. Then Ron Gant will lift a sacrifice fly into left field. Castilla will score from third base, RBI number 95 for Gant. The Braves take a 4-2 lead. They win it by that score. Mark Wohlers with the win, his record 2-1. Lefferts with the loss, his record drops to 1-6. Alejandro Pena picks up his 10th save of the season, and with that win, the Braves move back to 1/2 game behind the first place Los Angeles Dodgers. Here, Larry Dierker showing off the latest fad in sunglasses as the Astros are in Los Angeles on Thursday afternoon to take on the West-leading Los Angeles Dodgers. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Darryl Strawberry with a 2-run home run to right field. Number 25 for Strawberry, RBIs number 91 and 92, as Lenny Harris also scores, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead. Los Angeles starting the day with a slim half-game lead over the second-place Atlanta Braves. Moving now to the bottom of the third inning, Lenny Harris will increase the Dodger lead to 4-0 when he smacks a 2-run home run to right field. For Harris, it's home run number 3, RBIs number 35 and 36. Brett Butler also scores, and the Dodgers once again take a 4-0 lead. The Astros get one back in the top of the fifth inning when Andujar Cedeno comes up and smacks a solo home run to left field. For Cedeno, it's home run number 6, RBI number 26, and the Dodger lead is cut to 4-1. The Astros would also provide some fine defense here in the bottom of the sixth inning with 2 out. Luis Gonzalez will come up with the diving catch as Mike Scioscia will pop one up down the left field line. Luis Gonzalez with the sliding diving catch for the third out in the bottom of the sixth inning. Moving now to the top of the eighth inning, the Astros will get back in this ball game with 2 men out. First, Steve Finley will come up and double over the head of Eddie Murray. Gerald Young will score on the play, RBI number 52 for Finley, and the Dodgers lead is cut to 4-2. On the play, Kenny Lofton would go to third base as Finley goes into second base. Later on in the eighth inning, Jeff Bagwell will ground one into third base. Lenny Harris will try to tag Steve Finley, but then decides to throw to first base. He gets neither of them out as Kenny Lofton scores, and the Dodger lead is cut to 4-3. After a pitching change, Roger McDowell would end the threat as he will strike out Ken Caminetti as the Dodgers hang on to beat the Astros by a score of 4-3. Kevin Gross with the win, his record 10-10. Mark Portugal with the loss, his record 10-9. Roger McDowell, his 7th save of the season.
Night doubleheader in Arlington, Texas on Thursday night. Under less than perfect conditions, the Rangers hosting the California Angels. 17-game winner Chuck Finley on the mound, but he wouldn't have his stuff in this game. Finley with one wild pitch in the top of the first, or in the bottom of the first rather. The very next pitch to Julio Franco is also a wild pitch, so back-to-back wild pitches, that would enable Rafael Palmeiro to score to make it 1-0. In the top of the third, Wally Joyner, this RBI single, his 94th RBI of the year, would drive home Luis Polonia and tie the game at 1 apiece. In the bottom of the third, it's Julio Franco who delivered this single. This would score Brian Downing and give Texas a 2-1 lead. The ball would get past Polonia, and Franco would move on to second base on the error. In the bottom of the fourth, Dean Palmer hits his 9th home run of the year, a solo blast off Finley, so Texas taking a 3-1 lead. In the top of the fifth, though, the Angels would come back. The score now 3-2 Rangers, and Dave Winfield would deliver this RBI single to right field. This would drive home Dave Gallagher and tie the game at 3 apiece. However, the Rangers would take the lead. For manager Bobby Valentine in the bottom half of the fifth, Juan Gonzalez with the eventual game-winning hit as he smacks this 2-run single to left field. Gonzalez now at 97 RBI as both Franco and Ruben Sierra score, and it's 5-3 Texas. Meanwhile, the Ryan Express, Nolan Ryan on the mound. He'd work 6 innings, striking out 7 Angels, including Luis Sojo in the top of the 6th. Ryan would win his 313th career game. He's 15th on the all-time list, 1 behind Gaylord Perry. In the bottom of the 6th, shortstop Gary DiSarcina with 2 errors on this play, 1 fielding, 1 throwing on Julio Franco's ground ball. Brian Downing scores to make it 6-3. Still in the bottom of the 6th, it would be Sierra who would double. Polonia is slipping on the wet grass, and Palmeiro and Franco score, Texas taking an 8-3 lead. Then with the score 9-3 Rangers in the bottom of the 8th, pinch hitter Kevin Reimer would smack this solo home run off reliever Mark Eichhorn, his 18th of the year. Texas wins the first game by the final of 10-3. Ryan, the winner, is now 11-6 this season, and Chuck Finley, the loser, falls to 17-9. Bobby Valentine and the Rangers looking for the doubleheader sweep on Thursday night after taking the opener from California 10-3, but the Angels would score in the top of the first to make it 1-0. And then here in the top of the third, Dick Schofield up, hits this chop off the plate. This goes for an infield single as Max Venable scores, and Luis Sojo alertly goes to third base, and it's 2-0 California. Then Wally Joyner bounces this single to score Sojo, and the Angels take a 3-0 lead in the top of the third. Top of the fourth, Max Venable with 1 of 2 RBI singles. This would drive home Lee Stevens, 4-0 California. Meanwhile, the Angels have Jim Abbott, who is suddenly emerging, perhaps as the front runner for the Cy Young Award. He would strike out 7 Rangers in 7 2/3 innings. Here he gets Mario Diaz in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 6th, he would surrender a home run to Rafael Palmeiro. Palmeiro hitting a solo home run, his 24th of the year. This with a score 5-0 California. And it breaks the shutout and puts the Rangers on the board. It's 5-1, Palmeiro's 82nd RBI. Abbott would be faced with a tough situation in the bottom of the 7th as he would face the Rangers with the bases loaded and 1 out. But after striking out Palmeiro, he then strikes out Franco, Texas' 2 best hitters. And Jim Abbott would strike out Franco to end the inning in the bottom of the 7th. Not too much to cheer for the Rangers fans until the bottom of the 8th. Once again, they'd get long ball punch, this time from Dean Palmer, who hits a solo home run, his first of the game and second of the doubleheader, his 10th of the year. Makes it 5-2, but that would be the final score as the Angels would gain the doubleheader split. Brian Harvey comes in, and he gets Rafael Palmeiro to bounce out to end it. California 5-2 win. Abbott, the winner, is now 17-9. And he's won 8 of his last 9 decisions, while Kevin Brown, the loser, is 9-11, and Harvey gets his 40th save.
Griffey Jr. and the Seattle Mariners hosted the Kansas City Royals on Thursday evening, 1-0 Seattle in the 4th, when Danny Tartabull hits a line drive 2-run homer to right field. His 29th of the year. He picks up George Brett RBI 92 and 93. And that gave Kansas City a 2-1 lead. Checking the stats now, we see that Tim Spear for the Royals coming into the game didn't have a home run. But now in the top of the 6th inning, he'll crack a solo homer to left center field. It's his first major league home run, and it came off of Seattle starter Bill Kruger. and it gave the Royals a 3-1 lead over the Mariners. Check out a interesting play here. A nice play by the ball girl down the right field line as Brian McRae will hit a foul ball in that direction. And the ball girl makes the nice backhanded stab as she falls to the turf. But a nice play by the ball girl down the right field line. Ken Griffey Jr. will make a great play on this George Brett fly ball as he makes the over-the-head catch right in front of the fence. It goes as a sacrifice fly for Brett as Gary Thurman tagged from third and scored 4-1 Kansas City. But another great play by Ken Griffey Jr. out in center field as we take another look at the fine play. Still in the sixth inning, Danny Tartable will knock in his third run of the game. This time a base hit to center field. McRae comes in to score. RBI 94 for Tartable, and it's 5-1 Kansas City. But in the bottom of the sixth inning, Seattle comes roaring back. Nobody out, 2 on when Dave Valley hits a double off of Kevin Apier into the left field corner. Jay Buhner and Greg Briley both score for Seattle, 5-3 Kansas City. And we'll stay in the sixth with 1 out and 3 men on for Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. will step up to the plate, and he'll hit a line drive grand slam to left center field. It's his third grand slam of the year, his 21st home run, and that gave Seattle a 7-5 lead over the Kansas City Royals. That came off of reliever Tom Gordon, and it definitely was out of here in a hurry. As we'll take a look at the reaction by Ken Griffey Jr. as he saw the ball go over the fence for a grand slam to give Seattle the 7-5 lead. Bases full again in the bottom of the eighth inning for Seattle with nobody out. Alvin Davis at the plate. He already had an RBI in the game. He drives in 3 more as he doubles down the right field corner. Jeff Schaefer, Edgar Martinez, and Jr. all score. 4 RBI in the game for Davis. He now has 67 this year. That was the game as the Mariners win by a final score of 10-5 over Kansas City. In the Pittsburgh Pirates dugout these days, as the Pirates on Thursday night played host to the St. Louis Cardinals. Top of the 4th inning, Todd Zeile would put the St. Louis Cardinals on the board with a solo homer to left field, his 11th of the year. RBI number 76 for Zeile, and that gave St. Louis a 1-0 lead. Still in the 4th now, Tom Pagnozzi will take a Rex Hudler's bat and gives it a big kiss on the barrel, apparently for good luck, but it didn't come through as John Smiley will strike out Rex Hudler in that at-bat in the 4th inning. Hudler throws the bat towards the mound, and it's still 1-0 St. Louis through 3.5 innings. To the home half of the 6th inning now, Omar Olivares, the Cardinals starter, will strike out Orlando Merced in the 6th. Olivares only allowed 2 Pittsburgh base hits in the first 6 innings, but he found himself in a spot of a jam in the bottom of the 7th. Runners at first and third, 2 outs, but Olivares gets Jose Lean to ground out to end the inning and the threat, and the Cardinals still lead 1-0 through 7. On to the top half of the 8th inning now, when Olivares will send Barry Bonds deep as Olivares hits the drive to left field off of John Smiley. Bonds a long way to go. He'll almost crash into the wall before making the spectacular over-the-shoulder catch for the out. Yes, he does have the ball, as he shows everyone. And we'll take another look at this Willie Mays type catch in the left field by Barry Bonds as he goes back and makes the over-the-head catch at the wall for the out. Bonds tied the game up at 1 apiece with a fielder's choice in the 9th, and then the Pirates turn to Curtis Wilkerson, a pinch hitter with the bases full and 2 outs against Lee Smith. And Wilkerson takes Smith's first pitch and hits a grand slam to right field, his first home run of the season, and that gave the Pirates a 5-1 victory over the Cardinals, reducing their magic number to 4. Pirates come back with 5 runs in the 9th inning, 4 of them coming on the grand slam by Curtis Wilkerson.
Thursday night ACC football from Atlanta, Georgia Tech, the 17th ranked team in the country. It's their home opener. They take on the Virginia Cavaliers. And on Georgia Tech's first offensive play, quarterback Sean Jones finds Greg Lester on a 76-yard touchdown pass, and the Yellow Jackets take a 7-0 lead. In the second quarter, Tech on the move once again, but a big play would be turned in by Chris Slade of Virginia. As Jones drops back, Slade would tip this pass, and then intercepted, returning it 28 yards as he would take the ball into Georgia Tech territory. And following that interception, Bobby Ross would see Virginia quarterback Bobby Goodman strike as he finds Larry Holmes for a 50-yard touchdown pass, and this would tie the game at 7 apiece, and it was 7-all at the half. Early in the third quarter, Goodman would be out for a short spell with an injury, but he would return. Remember, Goodman is filling in for the injured Matt Blunden, and late in the third quarter, it would be Goodman 72 yards to Tyrone Davis, as Goodman would throw 18 times and complete 11 passes for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. George Welsh's Cavaliers lead at 14-7. Tech would come back to tie it at 14, and then later on in the fourth quarter, freshman Jimmy Lincoln, a 23-yard touchdown run. Lincoln would carry the ball 31 times for 229 yards. That's a Georgia Tech freshman record, and that would give his club a 21-14 lead. But late in the fourth quarter, once again, Goodman would find a receiver. This time it's Aaron Mundy, a 19-yard touchdown play, and this ties the score at 21 apiece. But George Welsh would see for the second straight year the Yellow Jackets win on the foot of Scott Sisson, this time a 33-yard field goal as time expires. Last season, Georgia Tech would win it on Sisson's 37-yard field goal in Charlottesville, that when the Cavaliers were undefeated and ranked number 1, and Sisson does it.
On Saturday, Milwaukee was at Detroit, and with Lou Whitaker on first base, Cecil Fielder will blast his Major League leading 43rd home run to deep left field. Milwaukee would go on to win the game, however, 5-2, but Cecil Fielder leads the major leagues with 43 home runs. Then we go to Chicago, where the California Angels are in town, and Bo Jackson shows no ill effects from his hip injury as he blasts his 3rd home run of the season. This is a tremendous 2-run shot to deep left center field, but Chicago loses 3-2. Then in Los Angeles, the Atlanta Braves are in town as they're in the middle of a pennant race in the NL West. Ramon Martinez helps his own cause, hits his first career home run in 194 at-bats, giving the Dodgers a 3-0 lead. That would be the final score, as the Dodgers go a game and a half up on the Braves in the West. Then we go to Oakland on Saturday, and Terry Steinbach hits a line drive off Jimmy Key's leg. Ball caroms to Kelly Gruber at third, and he throws him out, making a nice play. Here's another look as the ball bounces off Jimmy Key's arm. Gruber makes the barehanded play. Key would be all right and stay in the game. Then in Boston, the New York Yankees in town to take on the Red Sox. Tony Pena up at bat. The Yanks' Wade Taylor hits Pena on the shoulder with the pitch. As Pena jogs to first, flips the ball back to Taylor. This reminiscent of last week's encounter between the two clubs when Roger Clemens hit Matt Noakes and he threw the ball back at Clemens. On Saturday in college football, Auburn versus Texas. Auburn running back Joe Frazier fumbles the ball, and Willie Mack Garza recovers for Texas, but his teammate Tim Tillman falls headfirst on the ball, knocking his helmet up into the air. Then we go back to baseball on Saturday. Tony Danza in uniform for the Dodgers as an honorary bat boy, trying to give him some good luck. Then Philadelphia at Pittsburgh, and this is a strange double play as Dave Holland's ground ball to first base. Alander Merced fires to catcher Mike LaValliere. As Randy Reddy comes home, Steve Buechele tags him out. Then they have Dave Holland's trap between first and second. Buechele throws back to Jay Bell, who runs down Dickie Thon to complete the double play. If you're scoring at home, it goes 3-2-5-6. Double play for Pittsburgh. Still in the same game in Pittsburgh, Andy Van Slyke at the plate facing Jose De Jesus. His first pitch takes off a little high. The Philly coaching staff looking on, doesn't seem that worried. But on the very next pitch, De Jesus uncorks a big-time wild pitch, goes back to the screen. This is his 10th wild pitch of the season as Orlando Merced scores to give Pittsburgh a 1-0 lead. Then we move to Detroit with Milwaukee in town. Pete Incaviglia takes a called third strike from Bill Wegman. He doesn't like the call and argues with home plate Dale Scott. Incaviglia obviously says something not to Scott's liking, and he gets ejected from the game. Then we move to Toronto and Oakland on Sunday, and Pat Borders had a rough day catching for the Blue Jays as Terry Steinbach in the same at-bat fouls 2 pitches off Borders' mask. Then later in the same game, Borders would get hit for the 3rd time as Mike Gallego will foul this ball off his mask. It'd be a tough day for Pat Borders. New York at Boston, Pascal Perez pitching. throws the old Ephus pitch to Jack Clark, who swings right through it. Still at Boston before the game. The Boston attendant has to walk atop the Green Monster to retrieve home run balls hit in batting practice. We move on to Chicago, where the Cubs are taking on the Montreal Expos. Rick Sutcliffe bloops one over second base. Spike Owens and Lionel DeShields collide, but Owens makes the catch. St. Louis at New York, and a little presentation going on as Miss New York presents a fan with the keys to a new car as part of a local contest. California Angels at the Chicago White Sox, and Lee Stevens is fooled on a Greg Hibbert pitch. He would lose his bat down the first base side as he strikes out. And still in the same game, Kirk McCaskill, Angels starting pitcher, wasting some time between starts as he does a little ball tricks. Then this Sunday seemed like a good time to get married in New York. Before the St. Louis Cardinal-Met game, this couple got married in the picnic area at Shea. Then we go to the Houston Astrodome, where this guy proposes to his girlfriend at their seat. There he gives her the ring, and the crowd cheers them on as they get engaged. Then we go to Seattle, where Kansas City is in town, and Mariner right fielder Jay Buhner would have an adventure as Kevin Seitzer hits a foul shot down the right field line. Buhner chases after the ball, then disappears. We take a look at his other angle and see that he crashed into the padding, got stuck behind it, but would come out okay. And that will about wrap it